Hello. Today I thought we would discuss how to automate certain things. As you can tell from my speech, I'm not native here, and many people who come here to the United States do not speak English fluently. And even though I've been here for over 4 decades and tried as heck to drop my accent, I haven't been able to do that. And my English itself is not bad. Some would argue it's actually pretty decent, but it's not perfect for sure. And I thought we would use AI to help out with communication, which is super important, to other people to keep that in check. For those of us who don't speak English perfectly, whether we are native or even non native, it's a way to supplement the inadequacies, if you will, by utilizing AI. So, one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion, is to use automation. Let's say we wanted to send email to people and we wanted to word things properly. We want to convey the ideas we're trying to convey, but we want to make sure that the grammar is proper, spelling is proper, everything is the way it should be. And so, what I did was I put together a workflow using Relay.app, which is automation in the cloud software, which allows you to connect multiple apps together, feed data from one to the other, and execute workflows. Essentially, it's a bunch of steps executed in a particular sequence. They call it the workflow. And I'm not going to go to do a tutorial on the Relay app here today. They have plenty of tutorials on their website, relay.app. But I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of how something simple can be set up and it would be super useful at the same time. It doesn't have to be complicated. You're looking at a workflow right here that I put together. And essentially, what I'm doing, if you actually look at the details, I'm basically saying that as soon as an email is received at a certain email address, or what they call a mail hook, then I wanted to execute a few steps. And you can see I have 3 steps here. So the first step is email sent to mail hook. So that's what's going to trigger the entire execution of this workflow. Once this particular email is received, which is this email address, all you have to do is just set up trigger using the mail hook trigger, and they will show you the address, which you can easily copy right here by copying here, and that's the address you want to be sending. So that's the first step. Very simple, easy to execute. Then what I want to do is this is the key step here. Basically, this is the step called prompt AI, and I'm giving it a certain prompt, which I wrote myself. And I'm basically saying, please examine the attached email, and the attached email being the email that we received at this email address we just discussed, and make it sound professional, pleasant, and brief. Make sure to include all of the important points mentioned, extract the subject from the email, use CC field to extract the recipient's email. So that's something special I put in case CC is indicated, then the new email will be created with that email address in the to field. And it says if CC is not specified, then use my email address as the recipient. So in other words, we have the recipient, and then of course the body will be also whatever the body was of that email cleaned by AI. And over here it says from step 1 is what I'm including as information for it to deal with. So it's attaching the email from step 1 right here, and then it's applying this prompt to it using AI, and it says, what do you want to use? They have a number of different models you can select from and different variants, and they show you how much it'll cost because depending on the model, there is some cost associated with it. And also, you can just select best fit, which will go with that. The best fit AI model, meaning that the relay people themselves will figure out which would be best for this particular prompt. And the output, I want to be a structured data because I'm going to do something with the information it creates. So I want to put out the subject line, the new subject line, the recipient's email, the body, okay? And in the body itself, you can add additional information here by clicking on instructions. I put in sign the email with the following signature, so it's like additional prompt basically. And I'm saying I want this particular signature to be there in this email. So it's going to stick the body of what it figured out in here, but it'll also add the signature as part of it. Okay? That's basically what this means. And outside of that, if there's any kind of problem, we want to show an error, stop it. Otherwise, it'll output whatever the actual email is based on these instructions and based on this AI output. And then after that, the next step, step three here, it says create draft to recipient's email. And the recipient email is what we have up here. Is basically saying create a draft to this person. And if we click on it, you'll see it's getting all the fields for the email from what we got before. It's got AI body here, and I could have put in my signature here directly. I could have used the body in my signature, so I wouldn't have to prompt it earlier, like I showed you. So there's different ways to do it. It's not the only way to do it. There's a couple ways to do it. But essentially, anything else I wanted to add to the body, some kind of static information I could add here if I wanted to. In my case, I just want the whatever AI generates. And I could even attach files if I wanted to. And then finally, we have the Gmail draft created. And the reason I'm creating Gmail draft is so email doesn't automatically get sent in case I want to make any changes. So I want to make sure I check it. The beauty of this approach is multifold. A, it fixes all kinds of problems that I may have in terms of my English, in terms of spelling, everything else, grammar. And B, in the same time, it fixes it at the same time just in case I want to add something else or change something. It's not a final product, so I don't have to worry about, oh my God, it sends something that is offensive or something that is wrong or something else. I mean, I can check it and send it. And so the beauty is that I'm saving all this time creating it. It's creating it for me. I just quickly double check it and run it. Could I send it automatically? Yes, you can. You don't have to generate a draft. You can actually generate email and it will actually send it. But in our case, we're not doing that. We're just doing drafts. So that's the full process. Get an email at a certain address, recreate it with proper formatting and proper English, and then go ahead and create a draft in my Gmail so I can send it out to the whoever I want to send it out to. So let's go ahead and give it a test. I created a really horrible looking email. As you can see by looking at this email, it's not only misspelled, but at the same time, a bunch of stuff in there. It just sounds weird. It's almost like it was written by just somebody who doesn't even speak English, basically. But mostly you can see there's all kinds of words misspelled, letters missing. Like over here, instead of saying let's see, it says let's see and stuff. And assistant with one S just makes you cringe if you know how to spell in English. Something like that. Over here, it says thank you for your time, clearly misspelled, and consideration, totally misspelled. Bottom line is, it's a horribly written piece of email, but that's what we have. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the following. Let's go ahead and copy the address, and then let's jump into email. And so we're going to create an email to compose. Notice right now we have 30 messages and drafts because that's where it's going to go. And we're going to go ahead and drop the address in the to field. And then subject would be this. And then we're going to put the actual email content being the horribly written email from here. So we're going to select all of this, copy it, the Control C, and then we're gonna paste it here. And because we're doing custom signature, let's go ahead and get rid of the normal signature they use. So basically we have nothing but that email body inside and nothing else. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and send it. And so now it's 11:37 a.m. my time. Let's see, by 11:38, hopefully we'll have a new email. Let's see. It usually takes a few seconds to run for these automations, so it's not immediate because it does it every so often and so on. But typically, it's very quick. I think within a minute, we will see a new email show up here. And of course, it obviously needs to be sent, but then also Gmail needs to get it. So it's a combination of a couple of things. Right there, and there we go. So it hasn't even been a minute yet, and now we have 31. If I click here, you can see it's got my test subject, so that's fine. If I put something misspelled everything else, I would have fixed it. But the more important thing is the actual email itself. So let's go ahead and bring up the old email real quick so you can see what it looked like before. Okay. And so you can see the difference. It says over here, thanks for meeting with me, discussing a new business proposition. I'm looking forward to our is misspelled here. Next meeting. Let's see if we can put together a plan. So you can see it's a bunch of misspelling. So it transformed into hello. Thank you for meeting with me to discuss our new business proposition. I look forward to our upcoming meeting where we can create a plan for the interactive voice assistant, everything spelled right, you can see IVA, to address your restaurant's needs. Additionally, I would like to introduce, see over here, I put also, I want to talk about the survey. Over here it says, additionally, I would like to introduce you to our new survey system, Coffee. Now, in this particular case, it actually needs to be spelled with one F. That's intentional. And it needs to be spelled with the uppercase F because that's how I want it to be. But it doesn't know it, so it's trying to make a normal English word. So that's fine. That's what I mean by not having it sent automatically, but using the draft approach first. Developed by PCS is designed to be highly beneficial for businesses like yours. Thank you for your time and consideration. And then it's got the signature that I was showing you earlier that added in addition to that. So as you can see, there's no spelling errors at all. It conveyed everything that initially was in the original message here. All the points I was trying to make were made, but they were made without any mistakes or any problems. And basically, we have our email ready to go. Because I didn't specify CC, it put my email address for instructions into the to field, exactly what I wanted. And so all I have to do at this point, I made this little change. If I wanted to send it, I'll just click on send, and that's it. So it doesn't really matter how long this original email was and how bad it was. This process will take care of it, adjust everything accordingly, fix all the issues, and then create a draft message so I can send it much quicker. You could make a point that you already took the time to write the original email. It was all screwed up, true, but you took the time. And now you have to look to this email and then make additional changes potentially and stuff. So where's the time savings? The time savings typically is in place because you're coming out with a really horrible looking original communication, which is major turnoff for any kind of business communication. And you're coming up with something that's actually useful and usable. So that's one significant point. Second point is you're not taking any time to try to fix anything. So before, a lot of people who write and make mistakes, and they try to go into a spell checker, and then they go and change this and change that. Now, it's all of that takes time. You don't need to do anything. You just create the email in however bad English you might have, and then you go ahead and run through the process. It fixes everything, and then you're able to send it. So I think there's still decent amount of time that could be saved, especially if you do it on an ongoing basis, where you write a lot of emails like this. There's a lot more other things you could do. I'm just showing you a real simple example with this automation to see one of the things you could do. Uh, there's many other things you could potentially be doing with automation. You can have a lot more steps that do all kinds of stuff where they retrieve data from. Like I was thinking yesterday, you could create a simple process to mail merge by having a Google sheet with the information fields in there, name, email address, some other fields, and then you can easily create this automation using Relay.app to grab those fields from spreadsheet, iterate through every entry there, and create emails based on that. And there you go. You can just build a mail merge of your own within minutes, literally, that you can use all the time for any number of emails. There is almost unending amount of functionality you can have using this automation capability, using a bunch of different apps that they support. You can seriously increase efficiency of your business and also save time. Definitely, that's part of the efficiency increase and make your life easier. And that's using the modern apps, using AI, and using Relay.app. So if you have any questions, please leave them below. And if you need any help with this, I'll be happy to assist. Relay.app is not that difficult to use. It does require some learning, and there is a learning curve depending on your computer savvy and AI savvy will determine how bad it is or how good it is, depending how you want to look at it. But we at PCS here do this all day long. And so if you need help with creating some sort of specific custom business automation using something like Relay.app, that's one of the things we can definitely help you with. I just wanted to show you a simple but very important example. There are lots of different things you can do with this. And until next time, I'm Oleg.